It's good day. You're welcome to another fantastic edition of 360 Sport, where you have a reliable source of all sports, sporting information across the globe. And as we do this on the program, we actually start with trending stories in Africa, and also starting from home Nigeria here. My name is Mudashiru Shitu, and in the next few minutes, I'll be taking you across tropical topics we have for you on the show today. Yeah, before I start, I have a guest I'm going to introduce during the course of the program. But I want to say, wherever you're watching us from, you could drop the location on any of our social media page that you're viewing us from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, and Twitter, and tell us your location. Definitely, we know that we are being viewed across the globe, but we want to know where that particular person is so that we could have a personal interaction with you. It's on this note, I'll begin this show, and I have a very special person in the house. He's always every year, like we are too, from Asaba to Lagos to Abuja to Ghana, to make sure it covers all sporting news that regards to Nigeria. Dari Kuti, it's good to have you.
It's a pleasure having me on the show, Mr. Mudashiru Shitu.
Yes, and I think it's also good to have you here. Let's start with the championship that just ended some few days ago, talking about the Asaba 2018, the African Senior Athletic Championship that was hosted by the Delta State government, and you were there live and direct. We've been hearing so much stories as regards to Asaba. Some said it was a total failure, but we are in Lagos. Before we went to Asaba, we were able to cover the fact that some of the athletes were stranded at the local section of the Murtala International Airport. What can you say totally as regards to Asaba 2018?
Well, I'll say for me, everything I'm going to say is my opinion, and I'll say it was a success because it's better for you to have a slow start and a fast ending than for you to have a beautiful start and your ending is very, very worse. And the beginning of the championship was a little bit shaky because it was all over the news that athletes slept at the airport. I'll say no athletes slept at the airports. Yes, they were stranded because most of these countries like Kenya, like Cote d'Ivoire, like Cameroon, they had delayed flights in their own country, like 3 to 4 hours. And you know, we work with most of these airline work with their own schedule. When you book in a flight for 3 p.m. and you arrive there 6, you don't expect them to shift back their flight for you. So that's why some of these delays happened. Like I got from a very reliable source that on the second day, they ought to take the Cameroonians, the Ivory Coast athletes to Benin City, so they'll connect to Asaba.
So that at the local airports, you understand? Are you saying that there's no delay, the logistic of taking them from the local airport to Asaba, the bit delay?
Yes, there was delay, but it was caused by some of these athletes, their country, because they came into Nigeria very, very late. They ought to enter into Nigeria in the afternoon, but most of them arrived in the night. And immediately they arrived, and you know, people, the social media and the rest, I'm also guilty of that. The journalists of these respective countries went, and they were the ones circulating these pictures before some Nigerians started picking it from the social media handles of. I saw the Kenyan journalists that actually started trending the pictures of this Kenyan.
Seriously, we were there, you understand, and I saw 4 countries at the local airport, and the Kenyan, South Africa left Ivory Coast, Cameroon. So you said the reason why they were there was because of the delayed flight from
their own country. So it was all these things we got to know them when we got to Asaba, and we were able to speak with some of these athletes personally, because I met the lady from Kenya and some of the BBC and correspondent and the rest. So they told us some of these things. And like I was saying, the Ivory Coast, they wanted to take them to Benin before they connect them to Asaba, but few of the athletes thought they were taking them to Benin Republic. They declined. So it was when some other foreign guys from South Africa and the rest said, no, it's not Benin Republic, but Benin City in Edo. That's why some of them were able to go to Benin and came by road to Asaba. So aside that, in the beginning of the competition, there was issues on where journalists were going to sit down, but when we made some little constructive criticism, before we knew it, the hall was filled with chairs and table. They made us very, very comfortable. And the media tribune is different from the media center. At the media tribune, we had everything necessary, the chairs, Wi-Fi and the rest. But at the media center, where they do grand press briefings, they also provided us with the internet facilities. But on the first day, they had issues with the chairs where we were comfortable. After the first day, things went perfectly well. And because of some of these athletes, they had to reschedule some of their events.
Away from off-field issues, now let's look at the field. We came told with 9 goals, 2 silver and 5 bronze, making us the third on the tally there. Are you saying it's a success? Even before then, we had the players Blessing Okagbari, we drew from a race and all that. Overall, was it success on the field of play, regards to what happened off-field?
Well, I'll say for the athletes, I'll say it's a success, but for Nigeria, we should be ashamed of ourselves, because when I look at some of these athletes that won the medals, they sponsor themselves. Look at the likes of Blessing Okagbari. How much have Nigeria invested on Blessing Okagbari? Look at Divine Oduduru. His school is taking care of him. Look at Seyi Ogunlewe. His school is taking care of him. Look at Tobi Amusan. Our school is taking care of her. It's just very few athletes. Eguero is based in Germany. They are taking care of him outside the country. But look at when you look at the likes of Yinka Ajayi, you look at the likes of Arowolo Emmanuel. These guys train in the country, but we don't have any programs for them. It's just few of their coaches, like Nathaniel, that actually won the 400 meters, all thanks to our coach, Oyewole Akim, who is based in Abeokuta. Oyewole Akim is the coach of Yinka Ajayi. Nathaniel, Glory Nathaniel, is also the personal coach of Patient Okon George. He's also the personal coach of one other girl, I still remember. And so, what is the country?
So what credit should we then give to the AFN? Because it seems as if the players actually did. What credit should we give for the ASN in this outing?
Well, for the AFN, without fear or favor, in this season, from when they became, since when this board of Ibrahim Gosal came on board, they've not received 1 naira from the ministry. That's the Ministry of Youth and Sport. And they've been able to prosecute 11 championships.
11 championships.
11 championships.
Inclusive the Asaba 2018.
No, the Asaba is being sponsored by the Delta State government from CAA.
Okay.
So that's why, if you notice, the AFN were not really included in the activities, but they actually give them their support. Okay. So if you look at the AFN, let me clear the issue of this Finland issue. The Ministry of Youth and Sports ought to take Nigeria athletes to Finland, but they failed in their responsibility. The ECOWAS championship that Nigeria went to and emerged victorious, Nigeria was on the verge of missing this championship. But the few of the board members took it upon themselves to sponsor this athlete till their meal, their accreditation, their appearance fee was being funded by this same AFN, and they've not received 1 naira.
Yeah, but initially you said it's a success. So, but what you've been telling me so far are the negative sort of the whole issue. So, what would you term as been as a successful outing? Or what do you call it a success as about 2018 and from what we've just seen so far?
Well, I'll say it's a success because most of these athletes that have actually been laboring, their labors are not in vain. They've been able to wear a medal. E.g. Kure has been training far back as 2010 and today is a bronze medalist. He won bronze in the javelin. Kelechi Iwanaga in 2015, she was the All-African Games champion in javelin. And today, she is now the current champion, an African champion in the javelin event. We have the likes of Chidi, who won the 400 meters. The 4x1, Nigeria won gold. The 4x400, the team of Patient Okon, Yinka Ajayi, Gloria Nathaniel, and the rest, they won a gold medal. So this is actually a success for this athlete. And when you want to mention their names, you say they are Nigerians.
Yeah, definitely.
So directly or indirectly, the name and the
Nigeria.
success is going to Nigeria as a nation. Third position, I'll say, is a fair one, but we can do better. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, thank you very much on that, Dai Kuti. And we'll call on a quick break. We'll be giving you an highlight of the award ceremony for 4x100, where we saw Blessing Okagbare leading them. And we got gold. The Cote d'Ivoire also got silver from that. Yeah, before that break, let me ask you this question. Is it the withdrawal of Blessing Okagbare? Was it because of the fear of Tau, the Cote d'Ivoire African champ winner? Or why do you think Blessing Okagbare withdrew from the 100 meters or the 200 meters before we go on this highlight?
Well, I was fortunate to speak with Okagbare, and she said that the reason why she pulled out was because you have to go on several hits before you go to the finals. And her team, including her personal coach, told her not to take the risk because she's injured. And the same thing, Divine Oduduru said the same thing in his 200 meters. He said he was being careful not to injure himself because his school is currently sponsoring him. So if Blessing Okagbare today gets injured, I can assure you, Nigeria will not take care of her, and she cannot afford to take that risk. So it's better. She pulled out because of injury and the fear of not being able to sustain a long-term injury. That's what I'll just say.
In all the medals, which one amazed you so much? Which one was so close to you? All the ways they ran the event, which of them was like historical for you?
Yeah, I'll say the 4x400.
Okay.
Because for a very long time, Nigeria have not dominated the 4x400, and seeing these ladies, most of them based in Nigeria, winning the gold medal, I'll say it's a good one. The 4x1, I'll say, for me, it's not that spectacular because we already know their names, the likes of Blessing Okagbare, Amoson, Joy, Udo, Gabriel. But the 4x400 meters female was the best for me, and it was close to my heart.
Yet, that's very fantastic. Yet, but we'll give you a highlight of the 4x100 meters where we have Joy Udo Gabriel, Blessing Okagbare, and Toby Amoso winning the gold medal for Nigeria. When we come back, we'll be looking straight to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in France.
Nigeria's 4x100 women's relay team, and yes, they raised their hand that high. It's a golden moment for the relay team to get set to get their medals, the gold medal. So presented to them by the governor of Delta State, Dr. Okoa. Blessing Okagbare gets the medal from the governor. It's important to note that she is from this state, Delta State. That's how it is. Nigeria with the gold, Cote d'Ivoire with the silver, and Kenya with the bronze medal. It was an electric race yesterday. As Nigeria's 4x.
Yet, welcome back from that fantastic highlight of the Asaba 2018, and there's so much going on as whether Abuja might hope the World Athletic Championship if we bid right for it. Away from athletics and the Asaba 2018, FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup is on right now in France. Our first game against Germany, we lost that game, and it's not been there's a fear going on whether we could qualify or we could do better than Papua Guinea 2 years ago. I still have Dari in the house. Dari, Christopher Danjuma, being spearheaded by Rashidat Ajibade, lost the first game in the ongoing FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup in France. We have Haiti also in that team, and not forgetting that we have the Chinese team also. What's our prospect of qualifying out of this?
Well, I must be honest with you. I'll say kudos to the girls because the match against Germany, I was expecting nothing less than 3 to 4 goals against Nigeria. But alas, we lost by a lone goal. And considering the fact that most of these girls have not been playing competitive football, the league is on break, and for them to be able to produce this kind of performance, I'll say kudos to them. We should actually encourage these girls, and everybody keeps on hammering Ajibade that she's not performing outside the shores of Africa. I'll say it's all the national teams are guilty of that, including the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we should not put pressure on this young lady. You can only give what you have. What you don't have, you cannot give. And it's a collective effort. If the team fails to support Rashida Ajibade, she can't turn herself into 11 players. But for the match against Haiti, I see Nigerian beating them because most of our girls
But Haiti actually brought out to fight in the game against the Chinese. They lost that game to 2-1, but don't you think they'll also be open, because there's the two losers right now in the first games, as Haiti and China, and Nigeria. Yeah. Don't you think it's going to be tougher than we expect?
It's going to be tough, but as Nigerians, and don't forget that the hopes of over 180 million Nigerians is actually hanging, and these girls, they've proven back in time that they are the champions of Africa, and we all know these girls are the ones who can actually make us proud, because the female teams have been making Nigeria proud even more than the male teams in recent times. So I'm sure Chris Danjuma is going to charge these girls up. We must win this game if we want to qualify. Yeah. And I know that the girls are definitely going to deliver when they meet Haiti later in the day.
Yeah, on the final note on the Under-20 World Cup going on in France, do you think we can repeat what we did in 2014, Canada, where we have Aziza Oshoala? Can we get to the final this time? Though we came out of the group stage in the last edition in Papua Guinea. Just your opinion on that. Short one.
Well, I'll say I'm tipping them to enter the quarterfinals. Okay. Because the quality we had then is different from what we have now. And Aziza Oshoala remains Aziza Oshoala. Rashidat Ajibade is Rashidat Ajibade. So I'm seeing them entering the quarterfinals. Semi-finals, I don't know of that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dari Kuti. We'll straight to the International Table Tennis Federation. Nigeria Open 2018 is all going on, and our crew are going to give you live updates as regards to the tournament. Nigeria Open for you. What can you say? We are both there, the press conference, and also yesterday. What does it tell us?
Well, this tells us that we're actually improving in Nigeria. Some years back, before you count Nigerians in the first 50, to take a very long time. But today, we are proud we have Nigerians who, in Africa, we have like first and third in Africa. In the world, we have someone ranked in 18, in person of Aaron Okodri. What's his name?
Tayo
Olajide, third in Africa, third in Nigeria,
and 8 in Africa.
And 8 in Africa. I'll say we are improving by the day, and this is why we need to attend tournaments. You understand? It's just like you're in a class, you are being given topic, and you don't do tests or exams. Nobody can rate you, and that's what's actually happening. Most of these guys have started attending a tournament, and we are seeing them, their games are improving. And for me, yesterday I was there of some Mudashiru brothers, or what's their
The Mustafa brothers, yeah.
brothers. I'll say we have plenty
Talent,
we
yeah.
have plenty talent. You are aware of that because you're also a table tennis expert. If this younger generation are given the chance, I'm sure they will, because when I was at the last 2 youth games in Ilorin and I saw that we have talent. There are so many Mustafa brothers out there. This one's fortunate because they are participating in the ITTF championship. So I'll say Nigeria, we have what it takes to dominate Africa. We have what it takes to dominate the world. But the country needs to believe in our athletes. And everything goes down to funding. How many federations in Nigeria have been able to access funds except football?
Yes, I could feel that your plight. But let's hear what the coach of the national team, that's Coach Nasiru Bello, who is the coach of the table tennis national team. Let's hear what he has to say as regards to the Nigerian Open.
From them, we have been preparing for this for the past 3 weeks, and with Gideon Mata, Shegun has arrived. Everybody has said we're only waiting for him tomorrow to arrive into the country, and he's going to play in the men's singles, while others will be playing in the grouping. And believe you me, you can recall yourself for the past in the past 2 months that we won England. Nobody believed that we can win England. That shows that what we are doing here in this country is a marvelous job, and I'm expecting a good result from my player.
We should all be expecting a very good tournament this year, because the former president is a notable, respected man that have given lots to sport in this country, not only in this state, in this country. Mr. Senator Oshodi has been a wonderful man that whatever he does is always excellent. So we're going to see a lot of side attraction, a lot of innovation from the younger ones at this coming tournaments.
That's the coach of the national team. After that, we have the senior special assistant on sport on the Lagos State governor. That's talking about Mr. Adeboye Anthony Adeyinka. Yeah, it's been wonderful moments on the show here. Let's hear what you expect at the end of the day, because no Nigerian has won this before. What's your expectation by time it ends?
Well, I expect Nigeria to emerge victorious. I would like to see 2 Nigerians in the final, if it's possible. Our own athletes, players like Aaron Okodre and Olatunji, Omotayo Olajide in the finals. And I also learned a veteran player, Shegun Toriola, is also there. I'm not sure maybe he's going to play, but I hope Nigerians will be able to, for the first time, because the Egyptian, Omar, has been beating Aaron Okodre in the final. So I hope the table turns around this time around, and I want Nigerians around to come and cheer their own whenever we are playing against foreigners at the stadium down there. Okay,
he's talking about the Mola de Okaya Sport Hall, Telsin Balogun Stadium. I want to say a big thank you for being part of the show. I appreciate your analysis on all the issue. Hope when we call you, you definitely still be part of the show.
I will.
Yeah. It's a very good one here. I want to say a big thank you for being part of the show. And I'm not going to just let you go, because I'll be leaving you with day one, the opening day of the Nigerian Open, and you have some wonderful games going on, especially the games between Esther Oribamishe and Rashidat Ogundele. For me, enjoy the rest of the day.